The second part of the video goes over volume and surface area. So the volume is the amount of space occupied by an object. It's always measured in cubic units. The surface area is the total area of the surface of an object. Capacity is just how much liquid a container can hold. Here are two examples of common formulas. We've already looked at some of these. Something new to us so far is the surface area, which is a measure of the total area of the surface that the surface of the object occupies. So if you were to unfold it all, how much area would it take up? So the surface area of a rectangular prism, you're just going to add up the area of the faces. And same thing with a cylinder. You've got a circle. The rectangle actually makes up the middle of the cylinder. And then you've got another circle. So 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So let's do two examples down here. So we're going to look first at a cylinder, and we're looking at the volume. So important to notice that we're given the diameter. So the first thing that we want to do is find the radius, which is dividing that in half. So our volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h. The area of the base multiplied by the height of the shape. So I've got pi times 3.5 squared times the height. So 3.5 squared times pi times my height, which is 16, which gives me a volume of about 616 centimeters cubed. Now let's just jump down. We're going to do also the volume of our rectangular prism here, and then we'll do both of the surface areas. So our volume of the rectangular prism is length times width times height. So I can put those values in, 12 times 3 times 4, which is going to give me 144 centimeters cubed. Now knowing this fact down here, that 1 centimeter cubed equals 1 milliliter, that means that my cylinder would hold 616 milliliters, and my rectangular prism would hold 144 milliliters. So let's take a look at calculating the surface area. So I'm going to jump back for a minute, and I'm going to see if I can copy my formula here. So that was for this one right here, and I can't, which is not a big deal. I'll just put that up there, and then I'll write in the formula. So for the surface area, let's do our cylinder first. We've got the area of our two circles, so 2 pi r squared, plus the rectangle that makes that middle face, so 2 pi r h. 2 pi r is actually the length of the rectangle if you were to unroll it, and then h is just our height of that rectangle. So substituting in the values that I know, 2 pi times 3.5 squared plus 2 pi times 3.5 times 16. So that first one gives us 3.5 squared times pi, times pi times 2 gives us about 76.969. I'm just writing a few more decimals because I don't quite want to round yet. And then my second term is going to give me 2 times pi times 3.5 times 16. So 351.858. Adding those two together, 76, gives me a total of about 429. I'm going to round to 3 significant figures. Centimeters squared, because I'm dealing with units of area. So next, let's do the surface area of the rectangular prism. And here I really am just adding all the sides together. I'll write down the formula because that's what you'll see on your formula sheet. So we've got 2 times length times width, which is our front face, plus 2 times height times length. And then the last one is plus 2 times width times height. So I'm going to substitute in the values the same way I use them in my volume formula. I called 12 my length and 3 my width. 4 was my height times 12. And then my width was 3 and my height was 4. It doesn't matter what you call them as long as you're consistent. So you want to make sure you've multiplied each pair together so that you've covered all the faces of your rectangular prism. So 72 so 96 and 24, adding all those together would give me a total of 192 centimeters squared for the surface area of that rectangular prism. So 2 examples of some pretty common shapes that you might need to find the volume and surface area of in the future.